In the digital age, our lives are increasingly intertwined with technology. Smartphones, once a luxury, have become indispensable tools for communication, information, and connection. But this reliance on technology comes at a price, as our digital footprints become vulnerable to unseen threats. One such threat lurks in the shadows, a sophisticated piece of spyware known as Pegasus. Pegasus, developed by the Israeli cyber intelligence firm NSO Group, represents a new frontier in surveillance technology. Its ability to infiltrate mobile devices undetected gives it unprecedented access to personal data, turning our smartphones into potent tools of espionage. The implications of this technology are far-reaching, raising profound questions about privacy, security, and the very nature of freedom in the digital age. This essay will delve into the dark world of Pegasus, exploring its origins, capabilities, and the devastating impact it has had on individuals and societies across the globe. We will examine the victims of this digital predator, from journalists and activists to political figures and dissidents, and analyze the ethical and legal dilemmas posed by its existence. Finally, we will consider the global efforts to regulate spyware and the ongoing fight to protect our privacy in an increasingly interconnected world. The story of Pegasus is a stark reminder of the vulnerabilities we face in the digital age and the urgent need for vigilance and action to safeguard our fundamental rights. The NSO Group, headquartered in Herzliya, Israel, is a private company specializing in cyber intelligence solutions. Founded in 2010, it quickly gained notoriety for its development of Pegasus, a powerful spyware tool marketed to governments and law enforcement agencies worldwide. NSO claims its mission is to provide technology that helps combat terrorism and crime, assisting in the apprehension of criminals and the prevention of acts of violence. However, the company has faced intense scrutiny and criticism for its role in enabling governments to conduct intrusive surveillance on journalists, activists, and political opponents. The opacity surrounding NSO's operations and the lack of transparency in its client list have raised concerns about the potential for abuse and the erosion of democratic principles. Despite the controversies, NSO maintains that it adheres to strict ethical guidelines and sells its products only to legitimate government entities for lawful purposes. It claims to have a rigorous vetting process for its clients and asserts that it investigates allegations of misuse. However, critics argue that these claims are insufficient to address the serious human rights implications of Pegasus. The NSO Group's activities raise fundamental questions about the role of private companies in developing and selling surveillance technology. As the demand for such tools grows, the need for robust regulations and international oversight becomes increasingly critical to prevent the misuse of these powerful capabilities. Pegasus is a sophisticated piece of malware designed to infiltrate mobile devices without the user's knowledge or consent. It exploits vulnerabilities in operating systems, often through seemingly innocuous links or messages, to gain access to a vast trove of personal data. Once installed, Pegasus effectively turns the target's phone into a listening device and a tracking beacon. The spyware's capabilities are extensive, enabling it to intercept calls, read text messages, access emails, track location, and even activate the phone's camera and microphone without the user's awareness. This level of intrusion represents a profound violation of privacy and poses a significant threat to individual liberties. Pegasus can also exfiltrate data from encrypted messaging apps, such as WhatsApp and Signal, bypassing security measures designed to protect sensitive communications. This ability to circumvent encryption makes Pegasus a particularly potent tool for surveillance, allowing it to penetrate even the most secure communication channels. The stealth and sophistication of Pegasus make it extremely difficult to detect even for tech-savvy users. Its ability to operate in the background without any visible signs of its presence allows it to gather information undetected for extended periods, making it a highly effective tool for espionage and targeted surveillance. Section 4. Victims of the digital eye. Journalists and activists. Journalists, often working in challenging and dangerous environments, rely on secure communication channels to protect their sources and report on sensitive information. Pegasus has become a significant threat to press freedom, allowing governments and other actors to monitor journalists' activities, intercept their communications, and potentially expose their confidential sources. The targeting of journalists with Pegasus has a chilling effect on investigative reporting, hindering their ability to hold power accountable and expose corruption. The fear of surveillance can lead to self-censorship, undermining the free flow of information and weakening democratic institutions. Numerous cases have documented the use of Pegasus against journalists worldwide. These individuals, often working on stories critical of governments or powerful figures, have been subjected to intrusive surveillance, putting their lives and the lives of their sources at risk. The targeting of journalists with Pegasus represents a direct attack on press freedom and the public's right to know. The use of spyware against journalists underscores the urgent need for stronger protections for press freedom and the development of effective countermeasures against digital surveillance. Protecting the ability of journalists to report freely and without fear of reprisal is essential for a healthy democracy. Section 5. Victims of the digital eye, political figures and dissidents. Pegasus has also been used to target political figures including heads of state, opposition leaders, and human rights activists. This use of spyware raises serious concerns about the potential for political manipulation and the suppression of dissent. By gaining access to private communications and sensitive information, Pegasus can be used to undermine political opponents, influence elections, and stifle democratic processes. Dissidents and activists often working to expose human rights abuses and challenge authoritarian regimes are particularly vulnerable to surveillance. Pegasus allows governments to monitor their activities, track their movements, and infiltrate their networks, putting them at risk of arrest, detention, and even violence. The use of Pegasus against political figures and dissidents has far-reaching consequences for democratic societies. It undermines the right to privacy, restricts freedom of expression, and creates an environment of fear and intimidation. This chilling effect can stifle dissent and hinder the ability of citizens to hold their governments accountable. The targeting of political opponents with spyware represents a grave threat to democratic values and the rule of law. International cooperation and robust regulations are essential to prevent the misuse of these powerful tools and protect the integrity of democratic processes. Section 6. Real-world examples, unmasking the Pegasus network. The use of Pegasus has been documented in numerous countries around the world, revealing a vast network of surveillance and espionage. One prominent case involves the targeting of journalists and activists in Mexico, where Pegasus was allegedly used to monitor their communications and track their movements. This case sparked international outrage and led to calls for greater oversight of the spyware industry. Another example involves the targeting of human rights defenders in Saudi Arabia, including associates of Jamal Khashoggi, the journalist murdered in the Saudi consulate in Istanbul. The use of Pegasus in this case raised serious questions about the Saudi government's involvement in Khashoggi's death, and highlighted the potential for spyware to be used to facilitate extrajudicial killings. In India, Pegasus was allegedly used to target journalists, lawyers, and activists critical of the government. This case sparked a major controversy and led to legal challenges against the Indian government and the NSO group. The widespread use of Pegasus in India underscores the growing threat of government surveillance and the need for stronger privacy protections. These real-world examples demonstrate the pervasive nature of spyware and the devastating impact it can have on individuals and societies. The use of Pegasus to target journalists, activists, and political opponents highlights the urgent need for international cooperation and robust regulations to prevent the misuse of these powerful tools. Section 7. Ethical and legal quandaries. Navigating the gray zone. The development and use of spyware like Pegasus raise complex ethical and legal questions. While governments argue that such tools are necessary for national security and law enforcement, critics argue that their use poses a serious threat to human rights and democratic values. Balancing the need for security with the protection of privacy and freedom of expression presents a significant challenge. One key ethical concern is the lack of transparency and accountability in the spyware industry. The secretive nature of companies like NSO Group and the limited oversight of their activities make it difficult to determine who is using their products and for what purposes. This lack of transparency creates a breeding ground for abuse and undermines public trust. Another ethical dilemma arises from the potential for spyware to be used against innocent individuals. The indiscriminate nature of some surveillance techniques can lead to the collection of data from individuals who are not suspected of any wrongdoing. This raises serious concerns about the erosion of privacy and the potential for misuse of personal information. The legal framework surrounding spyware is still evolving, with many countries lacking specific laws or regulations governing its use. This legal ambiguity creates a gray zone where governments and private companies can operate with limited oversight, increasing the risk of abuse and undermining the rule of law. Section 8. The road ahead. As we delve deeper into the implications of Pegasus spyware, it's clear that we need to address several critical questions. Here are some crucial facts about Pegasus spyware. Pegasus can infiltrate devices without any user interaction. It can access messages, calls, and even the camera. Pegasus has been used to target journalists, activists, and political figures. How can we protect ourselves from such invasive surveillance? What measures? While there are no easy answers, several steps can be taken to mitigate the risks. Firstly, individuals can enhance their digital security by using encrypted communication tools, regularly updating their software, and being cautious about suspicious links or messages. However, individual actions alone are not enough. Governments and international bodies must work together to create robust legal frameworks that regulate the use of spyware. This includes implementing strict oversight mechanisms, ensuring transparency in the activities of companies like NSO Group, and holding those who misuse spyware accountable. Public awareness and advocacy are also crucial in driving change. By staying informed and demanding greater transparency and accountability, we can push for policies that protect our rights and freedoms. Ultimately, navigating the challenges posed by spyware like Pegasus requires a collective effort. It's a delicate balance between ensuring security and safeguarding our fundamental rights. As we move forward, it's essential to remain vigilant and proactive in addressing these complex issues. The road ahead may be fraught with challenges, but with informed action and collaboration, we can strive towards a more secure and just world. Thank you for watching. Stay informed, stay safe. To stay informed and protect your privacy, subscribe to our channel and share this video. Let's raise awareness about the dangers of spyware together.